everyone, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to my channel. Last week, if you have been following my YouTube channel, you will remember that I posted a video of a 10-minute challenge where I basically built a fully functioning house that has 2 bedrooms, bathroom and a kitchen and a measly little lounge. Yeah, so you'll remember that I did that and I basically had to do all of that in 10 minutes. And today I am doing the same build, but I am renovating it. So I basically did demolish the whole thing, but I went and rebuilt the main outside structure of it because I didn't exactly want to change it, because if I completely changed it, then I think the point of it is sort of gone. The point of this video being a renovation video is sort of, there's not really any point. I might as well just do a brand new build for you guys. So anyway, I did try to keep the basic shape, the basic roof orientation that I used the last time, and I think it worked out pretty well. Like, there are a few things here and there that are a little bit different, but nothing too major. It still has the same sort of vibe that the first house did. I will link that first video down below if you haven't seen it, so that you can go ahead and watch that one as well. And I highly recommend, if you do watch it, that you should give it a try yourself. It's a fun challenge to do, especially if you are very picky when it comes to building, because it is really a challenge when you're picky, or if you're a little bit of a slow builder as well, it is a bit of a challenge. So it's kind of a fun little challenge to do, just for fun. Yeah, so we have basically done most of the outside of the house already, and I'm just putting the edges on the side of the on the outside of the house, sorry. And I sort of wish that you could do those on single walls rather than it clipping to the whole walls. It's a little bit annoying, but you know. So yeah. So now that we've got the layout of the house all done, we're going ahead and putting in the kitchen. And I was originally going to close it off with this little wall here, but then I felt like, I don't know, it was very boxy. It made the kitchen really small and sort of claustrophobic if you're claustrophobic. And so I decided to take out that wall and put some breakfast counters there instead, because that way I didn't need to have a dining room table, so they can just eat at the breakfast counter. And I thought that was sort of a good idea, considering that it is a smaller house to live in. I know when I was renting a 2-bedroom little apartment, there was no space for the table. We did have one, but the table was like in the center of the kitchen, and there was not much room to walk around. Like, you couldn't even open the fridge properly because the table was in the way, and you couldn't have 2 people in the kitchen at once, because there just wasn't enough room. But yeah, so I thought it was a nice idea having that little kitchen breakfast counter there, so that they can sit on the other side, with the kitchen still being able to feel a little bit more open, and not having it so closed in as well makes it better for you know, better for socializing. I mean, somebody can sit on the countertop while somebody's cooking dinner, I don't know, you know, but anyway, I have a cookie in front of me right now, and this is really random, but I have this giant cookie. If you're from New Zealand or Australia, you might have heard of cookie times. Definitely if you're from New Zealand, you would have heard of cookie times, because they're like a New Zealand favorite. They're like these giant cookies. I mean, you can probably hear the packet now. It's like, it's not exactly the size of my hand, maybe the size of my palm and a little bit bigger. It's quite thick as well, but they're really, really nice cookies. Like, pretty much all New Zealanders like them, and I'm pretty sure that Australia sells them somewhere. I mean, they sell so much New Zealand food here that you can pretty much find anything you'd find in New Zealand over here now. But that's probably because there are so many New Zealanders in Australia, If you've never been to Australia or New Zealand and you didn't know that, there are a lot of New Zealanders who live in Australia, like myself. Yeah, but anyway, I have gone ahead and put a mint green paint on the wall, just with white as well. You would have seen that I was using different wood textures and different wood colors, and I don't think they fit that well. The darker timber sort of closed in the area a little bit, and then when I went ahead and used that sort of teal, bluish, greenish type of wood paneling on the walls, it sort of made the house feel beachy, and this is not a beachy house. This is more of a suburban house, I guess you would call it. So yeah, I think it's a very cute house, especially using this mint green. I feel like it makes it so much cuter. And I don't know, I really like it. I really like having these large windows as well, because it's such a small house. It sort of makes the house or the main living area feel a lot bigger, because you know, it just brings in a lot of light and you can see outside, so you don't feel so closed in, I guess. But yeah, so I wanted to try and keep all of the benches or majority of the benches free, so that they have spaces to eat and spaces to also prepare food. Here is the little bathroom, and I did use the sink, toilet and shower all from the spa day pack. So if you don't have that expansion pack, then you probably will need to put in the bathroom all over again, basically, because even this wall tile is also from Spa Day, I believe. I don't think the wood is, but yeah, you basically would have to do the whole bathroom again, because I will upload this to the gallery. I upload all of my builds to the gallery, usually anyway. Yeah, so this one will be up on the gallery, and if you don't have Spa Day pack, I am sorry, you do have to redo the entire bathroom almost. But it's only a small room, and it's only a few objects to put in, so I don't think it'll take that long to get it done. But yeah, anyway, that is the downside to expansion packs and uploading to the gallery. If you don't have all of the expansions, then it is likely that something in the build will not show up when you download it and put it into your own game, just because you need those expansions to be able to have access to that content. So that is a little bit of a downside, but I suppose everything's got its downsides. I mean, it would be great if we could have everything, but that's not exactly the way that life goes, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway, so that's just a nice little bathroom. I thought it was nice and modern. It wasn't too beachy. I was kind of just thinking right now, is it too beachy? No, I don't think it is. I think it's all right. So here we are working on a bedroom for the parent, because this house actually belongs to a mother and a son. So this house, yeah, it only has 2 bedrooms, one for each of them, and I think this is really nice. This is the new wallpaper that came from the the Vintage Glamour pack, and I think it's quite nice. I mean, it's not exactly modern or anything like that, but I think it's pretty. Like, it's not exactly plastered all over the walls, so I don't feel like it makes the room feel too, I don't know, too vintage glamour. I don't know. But yeah, we do put in a few more modern, I suppose, objects that sort of make it look a little bit more modern. I also stick a fireplace in this house. Like I was saying earlier, that there is a fireplace in the house, but it doesn't connect to the chimney. Yeah, the fireplace is actually in the bedroom. And I was thinking, is this a good idea? Because the bed is so close to the fireplace. Like, in real life, if you were to have your bed that close to the fireplace, It could possibly be a fire hazard, especially if it's an open fire. It could be a fire hazard. Mind you, fireplaces these days tend to be a lot safer than they were in the old days. I remember when I was younger, I lived in a house for 13 years of my life. I lived in that house, and we had an open fireplace for about half of the time I was living there. And I remember we had a carpet and it had these brick slabs and all of that. But I remember when it was an open fireplace, we used to have this metal shield on it because it got so cold. Living in New Zealand, it is very cold in the winter time, sorry, so it got very cold. And if you didn't have the metal sheeting on it, you'd have sparks that would fly out. And even if you did have the metal sort of sheet cover thing in front of it, little ashes as well could still, I don't know, still somehow they got out. I don't even know how, but they got out somehow. And I did actually, there was a few occasions where I did actually burn myself because I was sitting too close to the fire and the ashes flew out. I mean, nothing serious, just like a little tiny burn, but I mean, there's no scars, so we're good now. But yeah, and it used to burn the carpet as well, so it was a fire hazard. I'd imagine that this fireplace I'm using right now would be a safe one. Like, it looks like it's an open fireplace, but I would say that it would probably be like the like a fake fireplace, like you know those fireplaces that you see in like flash houses or in movies and stuff like that, or even like those house renovation programs where it's like a gas fireplace and it's not actually a real flame. It looks like it, but it's not real. I'd imagine that's what that fireplace would be like. I don't even know if that fireplace has flames because I don't think I've ever lit the fireplace while playing Sims before. But anyway, we have moved on to the child's bedroom. Enough about fireplaces. We have moved on to the child's bedroom. And usually I do a blue and orange theme, but I decided to use a little bed that came with City Living. Yeah, I think it was City Living it came with. I decided to use that bed. At first, when I saw the color of the bed when the pack first came out, I always thought it was like an ugly combination. I don't know, I just didn't think it worked, and I didn't think I could ever make it work. And I accidentally, I don't know, I suppose I looked at the bed and I realized, well, instead of trying to make everything else different and make the bed match the rest of the room, maybe I should make the room match the bed. And it worked out well. Turns out the color combination of that bed is very nice. Just with the white, the dark blue, the light blue, and the greens. I actually did another child's room in another in an apartment in San Myshuno, and I used the new basketball floorboards, and I put them in like the lime green, and they honestly looked really, really cool with the boys' room. I thought about doing that again for this one, but I don't know, I couldn't make myself do it because I didn't know, it wouldn't have fit the house. So here we are doing the lounge now, and I really, really like this lounge. I thought of the idea of doing matchy with a mint coloured couch and a mint coloured light that you'll see later on. But I ended up getting rid of it, and I decided to put this little couch in instead because I wanted to be able to have enough room on the sides of the couch for people to walk. And that has a name. It starts with a T. The little spaces between the hallway or between furniture so that you can walk. It has a name, like a building type name, but I always forget it, like all the time forget it. If I remember it, I will definitely shout it out when I do. But yeah, I can't remember all the time, to save the life of me, can never remember. So we put that really cool painting, or a print, I think it looks like a print, on the wall there. I think it looks like Audrey Hepburn, and I really love those prints that came with vintage glamour. I think they're really nice, and they can work in a lot of spaces. Like, so far I've actually used it in an office area, I've used it in a bathroom even, and I don't know, I just think it looks really nice. Yeah, so here it was the lamp where I put it in the mint green, and then I was like, no, let's get rid of that. And I had to come back to that corner because I just couldn't find anything that I thought would suit the area. I love the fact that we have this little one square desk now, because it gives you more possibilities in the game. Like, you can still put a computer in there. I mean, I remember when I used to struggle with that because I knew I wouldn't have enough room for a computer, and instead I'd go ahead and put like a little table in, but the table just looked odd most of the time. So I think it's really nice to be able to have that little one square desk, and just to squeeze it in the corner there, I think it works really well. And we are doing the outside now, and I do, at this point, I couldn't exactly figure out what I was going to do with the backyard, and I don't know what it was like. It was like a light bulb went off, and I had this idea, and I did it, and you'll see what the idea is soon. I've actually, most of the time when I do builds, I always reuse ideas, like, you know, recycle. So I always reuse a lot of my old ideas that I've used, and I just do them sort of in a different orientation, I suppose. And this is the very first time that I ever had this idea. I've never used this idea before, so I thought it was kind of cool. And it's very simple as well. And I mean, it's probably not even that great, really, but I don't know, it got me excited, so I'm happy about it. But yeah, anyway, I couldn't figure out what flooring I wanted, and I thought of maybe putting up fencing, because, you know, if you have a pool at your house, you tend to have fencing to keep it safe from young ones, or, yeah, I don't know, you just usually have fencing around your pool. So I thought of putting the fencing there, but I don't know, it just looks funny. When it comes to The Sims, I feel like putting a fence around the pool just looks funny. So this is the idea I was talking about before. I thought it would be really cool to, at the end of the pool, to put like this little raised garden in. And it does clip through the wall a little bit, but I didn't really mind that too much, just because, I don't know, I feel like you'd have a lot of shrubbery in there, a lot of bushes and stuff, and you would actually have pieces hanging over. You wouldn't have them, of course, you wouldn't have them actually clipping out of the wood, but, you know, we can't exactly fix that unless you raise it up a little higher, and I wanted it to still look like it was inside the box, so I didn't really bother with that. And then I went ahead with this other little idea. This was not part of the idea originally, but then, I don't know, it became part of the idea. I decided to put a little fountain in the end of the pool, and you will see a little bit of a peek at it running, like with the water running and stuff like that. And that is because at the time I was doing this, my brother decided to walk on into my room, and he saw me doing it, and he really wanted to see the water run, so you'll see it running for a little bit. So yeah, so there, that was when my brother came in my room, and he really wanted to see the water running, so I showed him. But yeah, just for this one, I just used the sign that came out, sorry, that came with the Dine Out pack, is that what it's called? Yeah, with the Dine Out pack, and I used that sign that's usually used to be like a restaurant sign, and I just sort of stuck it up on the wall there, so that it kind of looked like it was a panel where the water would be coming out of, and I just put it in like a wood texture, I think. So yeah, I thought that was a cool idea, and that was my idea. That was what I was very happy about. That's what I mean, but it's probably not that great, but it was great to me. So anyway, and we're putting in a little barbecue area. At first I did put two of these sort of these fake sun beds, and then I realized, well, it's only a mother and son, and I don't think the son would be sitting on those too often. I think he'd be too busy playing in the pool. So that's why we've only put one there, you know, just for the mum to sit there and relax while her son goes swimming in the pool, sorry. And I decided to put this little table here. One of these chairs won't be usable, but that's totally okay. There's enough seats for the amount of Sims who live here, so that's fine. And we've got a little barbecue there as well. It would be interesting actually having a barbecue with only 2 people. I mean, I suppose you could make like a little bit of food, but it's not really a barbecue, is it? But anyway, who cares? We're gonna have a barbecue. Yeah, so I put this little pot plant there with a little shrub. I'm actually curious. I've never tried it before. Whenever I use a pot plant and put a normal plant inside of it, I never test to see if you could actually still use the pot plant to plant stuff. I'm curious now whether you can or not. Should try that one day. So yeah, I think the last thing we have to do is we're putting in a trash can, because I don't have one inside the house, so we just plonk one on the outside there. And then we go ahead and put some curtains in the room. I just use the same curtains for all the rooms, and it's this really, really nice curtain that came with the vintage glamour pack. So far, or lately, sorry, they have been bringing out some very nice curtains, and I'm quite happy about them. Anyway, we are coming up to the ending of the video very, very, very soon. So if you are enjoying my videos, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so subscribe if you want to see more of these videos in the future. I'll remember to put the description of, the link to the 10-minute challenge video in the description box below. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a lovely week, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!